Why don't you want to be my friend? But sometimes not everyone's gonna want to be a friend. I'm about to cry right now. I hate that for me. Rejection is not nice. No matter how you sugarcoat it, it's not a good feeling. It triggers me, like I said. So hi y'all, welcome back to my channel again. This is another Ella's Confessions video. In this video I'm going to be talking about rejection in friendships. It's something I've actually experienced, especially in my adulthood, and navigating rejection in friendships as an adult has been, I don't want to use the word painful because it is painful, but it has also helped me learn how to validate myself as a person in who I am and be okay with that. Because when people actually reject you and throw you back, throw your love in your face back, it stings a lot. So I'm gonna tell you guys a few stories that have happened to me, where this whole thing stems from, and how I have learned to deal with it moving forward. Okay, so growing up, I was an only child to my parents, and I was an only child for like the first 17 years of my life. So in elementary school, or as my Nigerians would say, in primary school, I've always been searching for like a community, a sisterhood, since I can remember. Like, I remember in primary school me desperately wanting this girl. Her name, I'm not going to say her name because we follow each other on Instagram now, but me desperately wanting this girl to be my friend, my best friend. I was so quick to want her to be my best friend. And obviously looking back, I don't really think she even liked me like that. I don't even know what it was about her that I was so enamored by, but she was always friends with the girls that didn't like me, and you know, they would talk about me to her and whatnot, and I just never understood why someone that I would call my best friend, you know, would be friends with people that didn't like me like that. But now as an adult looking back, I've just always wanted someone to call my own. I don't know if the only child syndrome has anything to do with it, but I tend to be very like passionate in friendships and invest a lot of myself in friendships, wanting to be chosen in friendships, wanting to be picked, wanting my own. Maybe because I didn't grow up with like my sister or my brother, because now I have siblings but they're children. So I've always yearned for that, and in a lot of my friendships, that's the way it's facilitated, almost like me wanting them so close and me trying to make them like me. And me, even like when I date, sometimes I feel like I date using that like style, and it's not very healthy. And there's nothing like when you're pouring yourself so much into a situation and someone is like, oh, too much, I don't want this, or you know, they reject you. Like, it can be so debilitating. So the first situation, it was this girl. We went to college together. Some girl didn't really like me like that in school, but after graduation, you know, we had a lot of mutual friends, so we'll always be in the same space, and we actually had a lot in common. Like, we're very alike. I really liked her. I was really drawn to her. I was drawn to her freedom, her independence. She was very like, you know, outgoing, and I really liked that. Like, I really enjoyed that about her. But I don't know, eventually, like after lots of like being in the same spaces, we tried to like build our own connection outside of everyone else, and I was really drawn to her. Like, I really liked her, I really did. I found myself pouring so much of myself into her, and I wasn't even sure why, but I feel like I do that a lot. I just pour myself, hoping that, you know, it will make them stay. And it was working. At some point, like, we got really close, and I really opened up to her. And then one time we went out, it was a group of us, we went out, and I had gotten irritated with something, and she was irritated with the fact that I was irritated. She just blocked me. Like, she literally just cut me off. She didn't like my attitude that day, and she just didn't want to have to deal with it. So she cut me off. And this is someone that I had been spending copious amounts of time with. We had been like getting close. She had been to my house a couple of times. We had hung out. Like, we're getting close that summer. And then just that one day I had a bad day, and she was like, I don't want to deal with this. And she just unfollowed me from everything. She stopped talking to me. She was like a real bitch. She was a real bitch to me, and I was so hurt. Like, I really liked this girl. I really opened myself up to her, and to just have my friendship thrown in my face for something that I did without even the courtesy of a conversation or nothing, like just be like, nah, I don't want to deal with this, girl, bye, fuck you, and she was out. And it hurt so bad, And I was like, what did I do? Like, am I that bad? Am I that bad? Am I that bad? I hate that. I said about myself, like, am I really that bad? Why would she just throw me away like that? Like, did my friendship mean nothing to her? And it was a very painful situation for me, and it made me feel like it made me feel crappy about myself. Like, I've experienced my friendship being thrown in my face, like as a child, as a teenager, but to have that done to you as an adult, especially when it's someone that you actually opened up to, it really, like, it was a whole fresh bag of like pancakes. Like, I did not like that feeling at all. I cried so many times, and my friends were just like, you just have to let it go. Like, she doesn't want to be your friend. She doesn't want to be your friend. She doesn't want to be your friend. I'm 27. And it's like, someone doesn't want to be my friend. But it was so painful. That kind of rejection was so hard having a process. So that's one example. Another one, this girl that I had met in my building, I met her at the gym in my building, and we had started a conversation, and I found out she was Nigerian. She was young. She was married, but she was young. Like, I think she was like 30 and I was 27. And we got along really well. I invited her to like a concert with my other friends. We bonded, and we started doing like morning walks together. We started working out in the gym together, and it was amazing. And we lived in the same building, so like I was so happy. Like, oh my god, I finally found someone like in my building that it's nice to just listen. I don't have a lot of family in America. I live by myself. I do a lot of stuff by myself. So I am very into friendships. I love having girlfriends. I love having friends. I love being around people. I feel like when I'm not around people, I feel depressed. I feel sad. I feel lonely. So I really like to just find people that I can connect with and, bond with. It's my shtick. I don't know. It's a gift and a curse. So me and this babe, we really started bonding or whatever. And then I had taken a trip to Houston last year. Like, let's say we had been friends for like a month and a half. So I took a trip, and I was gone for like 2 weeks, and I have planned to my apartment. So I actually begged her if she was able to just water my plants once while I was gone for 2 weeks, so my plants wouldn't die. And like, she literally lives down the hall, so I didn't think I was asking for so much, right? So she was like, okay, no problem. She did. When she watered my plants, she called me on FaceTime. She helped. I told her like I have 14 plants, so like I was very specific with I wanted everyone to get some water, and she did it for me. I was so grateful. I texted her thank you. I called her thank you. Whatever. I got home. She gave me my keys, and she just stopped speaking to me. And like till today, I cannot tell you guys what I did, what happened, what the situation was. She just stopped speaking to me. Like, I would invite her for stuff, like, okay, we're going to the gym. She's like, oh, not today, not today. And it was just like she was always saying no to doing something with me. But like, she was on my Instagram watching everything, going out, still going to the gym, doing her own thing, like living a whole full life. But like, when I would want her to do something, I'd be like, oh, not today, next time, blah 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 blah. So like, it didn't really click at first that she was like avoiding me or something, but eventually I got the message, and I just like left her alone. It was painful. Like, what did I do? And like, for someone that I was bonding with so well, and someone that I was connecting with so well, to just one day, like, there was no explanation, there was no fight, there was no tiff. There was, at least the first one, like, there was a situation that happened that like was a catalyst for the separation or for the dissolving of the friendship. But for this one, like, I started thinking, like, did she see something in my apartment when she came to water my plants that turned her off? Like, I started cracking my brain, like, what could I have done to her to make her just not want to fuck with me like that? And it was so strange. Like, one time I was walking around the building, and I seen her, and she looked at me and just waved at me and looked away, and I was just like, what the hell did I do to this girl? So that one too, it really stung, right? And I'm just here thinking to myself, like, am I that bad? Am I that bad of a person that these two people just literally like threw me away in the dustbin and didn't give two shits about me? And imagine me feeling this way about friendships, talk less of when I date. So dating is like a tormenting experience for me sometimes. But back to the situation, I was just like, I was so hurt by it, because the whole The first girl, it was like during the summer. This one now has happened in November, so this is like within 6 months, two people just not wanting to be friends with me for whatever their reason was. So it was very confusing for me. I was so confused. I was lost. I was like, what did I do to these people? I really wanted to like inquire, and everyone just like, just leave them alone, just leave them alone, y'all. So as a grown woman, as a 27-year-old then, and someone who has this self-worth issues, self-esteem issues, issues with friendships and whatnot, right? It was a very hard pill for me to swallow that, you know, these two girls had like basically chosen to not be in my life anymore for whatever their reasons were, right? And I was spiraling, trying to think about what the hell the issue could have been. Why would they not like me? I'm likable. Why wouldn't you want to be friends with me? Like, it was really fucking my head in. And I had to accept that not everybody's going to like me, that everyone is entitled to withdraw their friendship from you. Just like a guy you're dating can decide to no longer like you and withdraw his interest in you. Everyone is entitled to that, and that doesn't define you. That doesn't make you a bad person, because the way I'm speaking to you guys now, you would think that I didn't have friends that loved me. You would think that I don't have relationships that have seen me, my good, bad, and ugly side, that I still in my life till today, right? But that's not the case. I do have friends. I do have people who love me. I have people in my corner. Like, I have, you know, like, they might not be like in my apartment or like so close, and you know, but I feel like if I'm ever like down, I have a friend that will come and help me. Like, I have people in my life that love me, being the big ball of fire and whatever that I am, right? And you know, just the way they have the right to like me, people have the right to not like me. I'm not everyone's cup of tea, and I had to accept that. And even till now, it's a hard pill for me to swallow. Like, rejection is not nice. It stings. It triggers me. It makes me feel like I'm not worthy. It makes me start asking myself, I feel like I'm not good enough. And it's painful. It is painful. But I had to accept the reality of what it was. That's okay. It's okay that they don't like you. It's okay. Even now that I'm saying it, like, I don't even know, I'm still convincing myself. So it's not something I'm completely over. I'm just sharing my experience with you guys. And I'm grown, right? I'm grown, and there are people, I mean, I will probably not handle stuff the way either one of those two examples that I've given you handled it with me, but they're not me. They're them. I don't know what trauma they had in their life. I don't know what situations they've been through that would lead them to make the decisions that they've made towards me. And I just had to not take it personal. And it's so hard to say and do that when like it's me it's happening to, but it's just the truth. Like, people go through stuff. I don't know what I don't know what their experience has been, you know, from their childhood or their adulthood, or even if they're not trauma, what they could just say, I don't like this girl, and that's okay. Just like for now, the second girl that was that lived in my building, like, she still follows me on Instagram. Sometimes like she would DM me or comment under my photos, and it was such a mind fuck. Like, why are you here commenting heart eyes under my photos, but you're treating me like shit in real life? Like, make it make sense. But sometimes shit don't make sense, bro, and that's just like, I'm always wanting stuff to make sense to me, and I think that's actually the issue, right? Like, sometimes things just don't make sense, and you have to be okay with that. As hard as that sounds, as painful as that feels, you just have to accept stuff and love the people that love you, you know. And I still have to remain authentic to myself, because no matter how much I'm craving companionship and friendship and sisterhood and community from others, I cannot betray myself in exchange or in cost of wanting that, because then I would not be me, and that is a greater disservice to me than anyone being in my life or not, right? Because like I said, with all of this right now, there's people who have chosen to love me and stay by me and be my community and accept me. That word acceptance, you know, is something that is what I crave so bad. It's something that I yearn for in connection with people. not everyone's going to get that. So like even me, like moving forward and like making new friends, I can't be so vulnerable and open and raw and direct so early on with people. You know, I have to kind of ease people into it a little bit, because sometimes it can be too much for people, and I just have to respect that. Like, not everyone is like me, not everyone is as intense as me. Like, I know I can be very intense, but that's just my personality, and it works for some people, and for some people it doesn't work. Like, I don't know that I could be friends with people. I don't know that I could be friends with someone that doesn't that isn't honest, or like doesn't express their honest opinions and thoughts with me. I don't know that that is a trait that I can accept as a forefront for me. So that obviously maybe there are traits of mine that they can't accept for whatever reason, right? Just like I have my reasons why I like honest people. I like people who are vocal with their honesty. Like, I don't like people who keep their things to themselves, and then when they're angry they burst and tell you how, like, a whole vomit of how they really feel about you. That shit is trifling to me, but that's based off of my experience and my trauma and my like life. And now that I'm like, okay, this is something that I don't want. I don't know what the situation is. Maybe there's something that I do that they have that same this is my boundary, I don't want you to cross it. Like, I don't want any girl that behaves like this. I don't know if what I'm saying makes sense, but stuff like that makes you think like, okay, people are entitled to feel how they feel. People are entitled to reject you. People have the right to reject you. You are not God. You are, even people reject Jesus Christ. You get me? And I'm not saying I'm Jesus Christ, but like, there's always people, not everyone's going to like you. And I have this need to be liked that I'm learning to curtail, because that need to be liked when I'm not liked, and it's obvious, it fucks my head up, it does my head in, and I don't like it for me. It destabilizes me, it makes me feel weak, makes me feel ugly, makes me feel unworthy, makes me feel not wanted, it makes me feel like I'm not worth fighting for. And like, I go on a spiral, and sometimes it's not even that serious, it's not that deep type shit. So yeah, like I have like other experiences, like this was just like the two most recent ones that happened last year, and I had to really learn, like, it was really like, okay, I had to reel it in, like, okay, this is not about you, it's not about you, and really just move on with my life, right? The first girl that I actually like became friends with, we still, one time we ran into each other at a party after the fight, and we did not speak to each other. This is someone that was in my home, someone that I've slept in her house, she slept in my place, and we didn't even speak to each other, and it was so weird and just uncomfortable for everyone involved. But eventually she called me, and you know, we talked about it. She feels like she might have went too far with how she responded, but even that aside, like, we just had that conversation, and I haven't spoken to her since. So there was still that she didn't want to pursue a friendship with me, even after realizing that, okay, maybe I might have overreacted. So even that was like, okay, like, this is someone that doesn't really want to be she doesn't want to be my friend, and I had to accept that. And it was like, damn, like, I really love this girl, like, why? Why don't you want to be my friend? But it's okay. Sometimes not everyone's gonna want to be a friend. I'm about to cry right now. I hate that for me. Rejection is not nice. No matter how you sugarcoat it, it's not a good feeling. It triggers me, like I said. So I'm just learning to accept myself, love myself, because if I do that for myself, then, you know, how other people feel about me and treat me and do me will not really bother me so much, because I have like that sufficient self-love for me type shit. So yeah, man, that's my experience with dealing with rejection. It's not an easy fit. I don't think it is. If you guys have any better strategies and coping mechanisms, please share with me in the comment section. I'm a lover and a fighter. So it is what it is, you know. You live and you learn, and love the people that love you. That's just what I'm doing, and most importantly, loving myself, because I'm all I got. So yeah, y'all, that's my experience. If you have anything to share or say about what I talked about, let me know in the comment section below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and yeah, I'll catch you guys in my next video.